Today, I'm going to do a foundation declutter. This is something I've been wanting to do for a while. I have quite a number of foundations that I ended up keeping after going through the Lucky Bag series, and I really am still wondering, do I want to work my way through those? So I come to you with a bare face so we can do some swatching. I want to see how closely the colors match, and I really would like to narrow down the number that I have. I think at the end I will also include some of my favorites that I know I'm going to keep, that I love, and that I think really work well for women who are a little bit mature and maybe have some skin issues that they're dealing with, whether it be fine lines or crepiness or, discoloration, and I'll share that at the end. Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Melissa. Let's just jump in, and I'm going to show you what my little drawer looks like. This is actually my little vanity. It's nothing big, it's nothing fancy, and I keep my makeup in all these drawers except for my palettes. So down here is where I keep my foundations. You have trouble when you can't open the drawer all the way. So let's take a look at what I got, and we'll start swatching.
It's always a hard decision what to start with.
So I think I'm going to start with some powder foundations, because that'll just clear the decks with a number of products that I have. I currently have 5 powder foundations in my collection. So the first one is this from L'Oreal. It's their True Match powder, and the shade I have is W2 Light Ivory. And as you can see, I really like this quite a bit. I've used it quite a bit. I think there is enough coverage in this to work as a powder foundation or a finishing powder. I do like the color of it. I think it works great on my skin, and I'm definitely going to keep this. This is a great option from the drugstore. Next up is one of the original powder foundations that I ever used, and this is from Laura Geller, Baked Balance and Brighten Foundation in the shade Fair. So here's the thing with Laura Geller. I find that her powder foundations really don't match the description. So for Fair, this to me looks like medium. This has got a lot of yellow undertones to it, and I just don't care for it. So I find I never reach for it, so this is definitely one I'm going to declutter. If this is a brand that you want to experiment, definitely go in person and swatch it and see what you think. Let's move on to this one. This is from the Sephora collection. It's their Micro Smooth powder in the color Light. I think they have some really nice powders. Actually, I feel like the color of this is pretty good. So I'm gonna put that in the think about it pile. All right, the next one is from Makeup Forever. The Matte Velvet Skin powder foundation in Y222 is the shade I have. And as I recall, this gets excellent coverage, and this is a beautiful match. I am going to keep this as well. The last one is the newest one to my collection, and it's from Fenty Beauty. It's the Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation, and I'm in the shade 150, which is one of the lighter shades. This powder foundation is gorgeous. It is probably my favorite out of all of them. It is such a finely milled powder, and it's just gorgeous. I think I'm just going to keep these 2. So I'm going to keep the Makeup Forever and the Fenty, and I'm going to get rid of these other 3. See what else is up next. I was thinking about doing concealers in this video, but I think I might do that in another video, because I just think this is going to be long enough. Let's start with this Double Wear. What shade am I? 1 and 2. And I remember I did get color matched when I went to the counter. I have to be honest, I rarely reach for this. I feel like it's a little heavy. Well, the color isn't bad. Ooh, that's just way too much. I love when I start these videos and then I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'll keep that one. It's been so long since I've worn it, I need to wear it on my face and see how it reacts in like that troubled T-zone. So I'm gonna put that in a maybe pile. Can we move on, please? I'm gonna move on to these two deluxe samples that I have from Dr. Jart. One is the Black Label Detox Beauty Balm and the other one is Dissapore. I did like these quite a bit. I don't mind that that's like a little bit of a grayish undertone. I find that some of like the Asian brands are do have like that little like grayish undertone, and for my skin I don't mind that, but it's not for everybody. I think I'll keep this one and try and use it up, and I'm going to move this one into the trash. Next up is this from Peter Thomas Roth. This is called the Skin to Die For Mineral Matte CC Cream with a broad spectrum SPF 30. And I remember when I picked this up, what I liked about it is that it had a really nice SPF in it, and this shade is light. I don't particularly care for the color of this on my skin, and it feels very, very thick. So I think this is one that I'm also going to move out of my collection. This is the Neutrogena Healthy Skin Anti-Aging Perfector in light to neutral 30. And it does have an SPF of 20, and I don't know. Ooh, that's kind of goopy. Whoa, okay, way too dark. Ooh, and the consistency is kind of funky. I'm not going to even put it on my face. Can you see how chunky that is? It is time to retire this bad boy. All right, this is the Fit Me Matte and Poreless foundation in the shade Creamy Beige 122. I think this is a little dark. It might be okay during the summer, but honestly, I have ones I like better. So, and I feel like if I'm going to err on, you know, too light or too dark, I'd rather be a little bit on the lighter side. You can always bronze it up. So, yeah. I'm going to declutter that. Okay, here's an old favorite. This is from the Sephora collection. This is the Perfection Mist Airbrush Foundation in the shade Light. I've gone through multiple cans of this, but I haven't used this in a really long time. And I have no idea if it's any good. Ooh, okay. That still looks good. Does it feel okay? Usually what I do when I apply this is I spray it onto a beauty blender and then tap, tap, tap it in. I don't have a beauty blender handy. I'm not sure about the color on that. I remember loving this so much, especially during the summer, because when you put it on, it definitely has like a little cooling effect. I think I'm going to keep this for now. And I think I'll put this in my project pan to use up next once I'm done with the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue that's in there now, because I think I like that. I think that might be okay. This is the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. And yes, I keep it in the box, okay? I can't help it. I think the box is beautiful, the packaging is beautiful, and let me give this a good shake, because it's been a while. It's very deluxe packaging, and it does have a pump. The shade I'm in is Light 3. So let's see, let's squirt a little, because I haven't used this in a while. Okay, it is kind of liquidy. It's pretty light, especially compared to that spray foundation. But I am definitely keeping this because I remember loving this foundation. I haven't probably worn it in a couple months. And I know this looks a little light, but when you blend it in and sheer it out, it looks great. I am definitely keeping this. This is a Fenty Beauty Matchstick in the shade Linen. This is technically a concealer. However, I love using this as a foundation. And I don't have a whole lot left. As you can see, that's all I have left. Let me roll it down so you can see how much I've actually used up. So I've used up that much. And I'm definitely keeping this. I love that you can just like scribble it all over your face and then blend it in. It's a little bit of a drier texture, but I love the finish it gives. I really think and the color is such a great match for me. So let me go ahead and put it on my face over here. And then, you can blend it out a little bit. I just adore this. Not so much for a concealer, but definitely as a foundation. And how easy is that to travel with? Like, whew, terrific. This is the Maybelline Dream Urban Cover. It's like a CC cream with an SPF of 50. I think this was part of like the Emily Noel recommendations. Oh, and the shade is Natural Ivory. It has a little like, what do you call that? Little top part. It's like what do we call that? This I loved when I tried it, and I think the shade is quite nice. It's these swatches are heavier than probably I would normally wear, but I'm definitely keeping this. I think this is great, and it has an SPF of 50. How awesome is that? Okay. All right, let me clean up here. These aren't makeup wipes. They're baby wipes. Why? I don't know. Just because that's what I had on hand. All right, these last two are the newest ones to my collection. This is from the brand Isla, and it is a super serum skin tint with an SPF of 40. The shade I'm in is called Bomb Bomb. B-O-M-B-O-M. And it does have like this dropper application, which isn't my favorite, but I can work with it. The shade of this is magnificent. A little more on, so you can see it a little intensely. Let me blend it out a little bit. Definitely keeping this. I'm doing okay. 9 that I'm keeping, 7 that I'm decluttering. Okay, let's get after the last one. This is from Glossier. It's the Perfecting Skin Tint in the shade G11. This is also a very serum-y product, and it has one of those little spouts that we don't know what to call. A bit lighter than the Isla. I have the Isla here. Let me just go ahead and put this here. This is a very sheer foundation, but I do quite like it because it is nice for like when you want to be a little bit perfected at home, but you don't want to be wearing a lot of foundation. I'm going to circle back to this Estee Lauder and I'm going to put it on. But first I'm going to put a little of what I usually wear under my foundation, which is like a little sunscreen. And here's what I'm looking for. I really want to see how it goes on around in my T-zone where I have some larger pores, and I want to see how that looks. This is a lot of people's like holy grail foundation. It's not mine. First of all, like what a crazy mess this makes because it doesn't have any kind of a pump. And a lot of people love this when they have big events that they want to make sure that they look flawless and that it's going to stay the whole time. I would normally use concealer under my eyes, but this is a foundation video. Okay. I actually like the way it looks on my skin. I don't remember it looking this good, but I think this is going to stay in the collection. Let's talk about like my top, 2 or 3 picks. I don't know how many I'm going to go for. I'm going to start with the powder foundation. My top pick is definitely the Fenty. I think it is by far some of the nicest, smoothest, finely milled powders. Just love that. So I am definitely, this is like a top pick for me. For the drugstore, I would say this. I loved this. This is the Maybelline Dream Urban cover. This is phenomenal, and it's a great pick from the drugstore. Love this. My next top recommended foundation is this one from Isla. I really love this foundation. The best. Like, do I like all these others? I do, quite a bit. But if my whole collection got wiped out, I would definitely repurchase this and this. These are the two that I would absolutely run out and repurchase immediately because I love the way they perform on my skin. My tip for you, if you are a woman over a certain age, less is more with foundation. And I think a lighter coverage definitely, while it doesn't hide every imperfection, it also doesn't highlight every imperfection. So that's the balance when you reach a certain age and you have some wrinkles or crow's feet or fine lines or aging spots. You want to cover them, but you don't want to highlight them. And a lot of foundations will settle into those fine lines. You have some discoloration on your face, then I think you'd be better maybe spot concealing or just focusing it there and going lighter elsewhere. So it is definitely a balancing act and something you have to really experiment a little bit with, but definitely give like these serum type foundations a try. This one in particular has nice coverage in it, and I love it. So I'm ending up with 9 foundations, and I'm going to 10 because I want to put this back because this is really great. I'm going to discard 6. I do think that some of these are going to go into my Project Pan as I get through what I'm currently working on, which is the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue, which let me tell you is beautiful, beautiful. But there are some here that I will probably just try and use up. Just for fun. I upload videos every Saturday morning, and I'll include a link to last week's video right up here. And if you liked this content, I hope you will consider subscribing. It's free. Free, free, free. Thank you so much, and I'll see you real soon.